Hi, and welcome to the Transformational Soul Talks. I'm Rochelle. Now, my guest today is known as America's Supermom. She is a dynamic TV producer, media, and marketing strategist, wife of 32 years, and mother of 15 children, who is dedicated to fostering hashtag smiles for wellness and hashtag collaboration over competition, which we will be definitely diving into later. With a marketing degree from Indiana University Bloomington and rooted in Stockbridge, Georgia, LaChelle has made a significant strides in the community building and advocating for personal growth. Through her work at America's Supermom Company, she has excelled as a producer of the micro network channel Keep It Real TV and show host of Real Life Without Excuses on the Zonder TV network, bringing her vision to the forefront of empowering content creation. Now, LaChelle is also a best-selling author, a keynote speaker, collaborating on many projects to raise awareness that you can overcome depression and it doesn't have to hinder your future success. LaChelle's mission extends beyond her professional achievements. She embodies the spirit of resilience, empowerment, sharing her journey to help others smile more and live a life of clarity, confidence, and purpose. So I want to welcome my wonderful guest and friend and collaborator, LaChelle Adkins.
Thank you so much, Rochelle, for having me today. I'm so excited for this conversation. I think time goes by so quickly. I have children, so they always keep me going. But, it's been a while since we've been able to catch up and connect. So I'm really looking forward to us sitting down and having a conversation.
Amazing. Yes. For anybody who's listening or watching, we collaborated, I think in 2022, which moved into 2023. It was myself, Misty Riston, and you, where we collaborated for a year. And we came on as guests on your TV show, as well as we did a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. And it really supported both myself, Misty, and yourself to really expand our community, our network, and collaborations.
Absolutely. And we got best-selling author,
Oh, yes, that too.
author with a book collaboration during that.
That's right. Yes.
So it's amazing. And then you're going off to do future, more books. And it's just amazing how we set that foundation and look at where we're at today. It's amazing.
Yeah. So, touching on the relationships and business building, and the reason why I asked you on was because you have such a great community and you're a real connector. You connect people. You have this like intuition where you know this person's really going to do well with you. You guys should collaborate, or I come and talk. You've put people towards my show, or you've
Mhm.
said, hey, this would be a great collaboration. But someone who's fresh out of the gate and they're like, well, I don't really know if I should collaborate. How do I know that other person? What would
Yeah.
you say to them?
I think it's important to do your research on the people that you want to collaborate with. You and I had the opportunity to know each other from other networking organizations that we were part of. And, even though we both left that place where we met, we still stayed in touch with each other. We still supported each other whenever we needed something. And I think a lot of times there are people right in your backyard that you don't even think to collaborate with. I was on a coaching call today, and I had one of my clients who shared that they met somebody new in their area, and she moved to this new town. She has a brick and mortar. And she said, please keep me informed of events. I would love to be a part of it so I can get to meet people. And I said, well, if she has a brick and mortar, why don't you just have like a mixer and you invite people to her brick and mortar, and it could be something for Valentine's Day or something. You could give away one of your books as a door prize. She could give away some of her uh, merchandise as a door prize, and it'll be a great way for people to know where her business is. And she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it because I think we make it too difficult a lot of times. We have this perception that a collaboration has to be big and it has to have all these different things when it really is the little small opportunities that we feel comfortable starting with and then expanding and growing from there. So I say, don't overcomplicate it, keep it simple, but, have a clear objective as to why you're collaborating.
Mm,
Person doesn't know anybody. So a mixer would be good because not only is she meeting people, but they're also knowing what her level of expertise is with her business.
right. Now, I love your hashtag, which is collaboration over competition. So tell me a little bit about that. Because I think I remember you saying that one time. It was either you were in a Zoom or it was something where we were StreamYarding. And I thought that is a really cool little slogan.
Yes. I think for myself, it was a hard lesson that I learned because for me, when I would say collaboration in the past, it was really my idea, and I'd get people to help me with my idea. Uh,
Mm,
then I'm afraid to share with certain other people because I'm afraid they're going to take my idea. I wanted to get credit for my idea, just a number of things that just didn't serve me. But now I'm in a place after years of doing it wrong, realizing that not everybody is my competition. Even people that are in the same industry as me. I tell people this all the time, having 15 children, someone may my kids could ask me something, I could say it, and they don't hear me, but my husband say the same thing, and then they're like, oh my gosh, mommy, do you know what daddy said? Can you believe that this is what he told me? And I'm thinking, didn't I just say that? So I
yeah.
realized that I may not be everybody's cup of tea,
Right.
even in the same industry. So there's no need for us to compete over that. It's just a
Mm,
simple reality that, we can stay in our own lane. And even if that was the case with them being competition, there's so many people in the world, too many for me to serve by myself. So yeah,
yes.
that
They
came.
always say that there is so many people, and your message, even though it may be similar to someone else's, it's the
Mm-hmm.
way that you share that message is going to attract certain people, and the way that, say, I share that message is going to be completely different and share and attract other people that are, looking for something the same thing, but in a different way. So I really think that that is like a big piece of it is knowing that there's tons of people out there for you.
Absolutely. And I just think I'm in a place where I realize I don't want to serve everybody,
Yeah.
because I want to go on vacation, uh, take the weekends off. I
Right.
want to be able to go to my kids' school events. I mean, I just don't want to have my calendar so full that I don't get to enjoy the work that I'm doing with my family. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Good advice.
Hmm.
So, a lot of people, I've seen them on LinkedIn. They're starting out, they're trying to find their footing,
Hmm.
and other platforms as well. And they're trying to build those relationships.
Hmm.
And a lot of times, people want to transform their business really quickly.
Hmm.
They kind of want to go from 0 to 100. What advice would you give to them if someone's listening today and they're just starting their business and they want to collaborate and they want to transform it and get where they want to be, but you and I both know that it's a journey and it's
Hmm.
going to come with a lot of challenges. But you have to hold steadfast with that. But what would you suggest to them or say to them if they're
Well,
listening?
I would say your brand should be for a lifetime.
Hmm.
And knowing that what you say matters, your word is so important. And what happens when we are very uh, driven to make all the outcomes that we desire is that we don't grow and scale in a way that we can manage it. So, yes, you might go viral and have the next best product or service, but if you can't deliver that, that's going to harm your brand. So, growing in moderation is so important for you to maintain it and to scale.
Hmm.
So, if you get a process down that's very consistent, then that makes it easier for you to delegate, to add team members, because they're already managing a process that you've already overseen, that you know that works. And so it's a matter from that point of duplicating yourself rather than trying to build and create something, seeing if it works, beta testing this. You're coming from a confidence of knowing that, hey, this is working. I just can't be the one maybe doing all my onboarding. So now that I know the process, I feel confident training 3 people so they can onboard people for me. And I don't have to
Mm,
do that part anymore. So
mm.
I think a lot of times we don't think about that. We just do everything, and I'm just speaking from experience.
No,
I was
I've done
doing
it.
in my brand. And when
Yeah.
somebody says, "Oh, let me help you with that," it's like I don't have my process written out. I don't have a
Mm,
checklist. I don't have any way of training people because it's all in my head. But
hmm
until I started thinking, okay, what is my next step when I meet someone that I've never met before? Do I send them an email? How do I get them in this customer journey? So once I've started documenting that, it's so much easier for me to have team members come alongside and, hey, you do this customer journey, or you take this customer that's into this product. I can do that because I've thought more about where I want them to go and the outcomes and what different markers they need to be at. And so it's easier for me to add to my team and duplicate myself because they have specific, clear outline of what it is that I expect from them.
I think that's great advice because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we want
Mm.
to kind of do everything ourselves and we want to have our fingers in everything. And I agree with you. You need to have kind of a map because if you don't, trying to explain it to those people that want you bring on to support you and give you the time so you can do those things, but then they don't understand you're because you've kind of got it all in this little bubble. You're like, I've got control of this. This is my cake. That's detrimental to your business and transforming it. It should be, you have the guts and the information, but ultimately, I think, like you said, there should be a portion where you can hand it off to someone and say, all right, take this from here and give yourself some time so you can do the things you want to do as an entrepreneur. Hang out with your partner, hang out with your family, go and have lunch with your best friend because life is too short to be constantly drilling at home, looking at things. Definitely.
So true. And I think you also get a realistic idea of how long things take. If you're constantly in this bubble of doing all the things, you don't really realize how much something takes, how much time it takes for each component because you're just used to doing it all.
hmm
And, it's like, you could tell somebody to do this and they're like, okay, like I have a VA who was helping me with some of my YouTube content. And I just gave her this assignment and she's like, okay, well, I need some more time because I need to research SEO. I need to, do all these things. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
because we're
right.
s- we're so accustomed to doing it ourselves, right? We're just like, well, just
Exactly.
you just do this, this, and this, and they're like, well, wait a minute, I got to figure out how to do that. I've been there where they're like, I have one as well, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. You let me explain how to do that, and this is the simple way, and then
It's,
just give me this information. But I don't know how you feel about this. I am one of those entrepreneurs where I like to know a little bit about everything just
mm-hmm,
so that I understand it, so that it can't be, I have no clue. I don't want to have no clue about what's going on. I want to understand a little bit. I don't need to know every detail, but I need to
right.
understand a little bit about of it. So when we're talking, me, myself, the marketing person, whoever, I know what they're talking about, and I'm not standing there going, huh?
It's true. Because, I think we're not going to be well versed in every component. I mean, not unless that's something that we really value with learning. But I think understanding how the pieces fit together is very important, you
Hmm.
know, it makes sense. And, you're able to trust and ask questions to determine if somebody's in alignment with you,
Yes.
and your brand with some of the things. So that's important.
I think that's a very good point you've made just there, is if you understand the basics of it,
Mm-hmm.
then when you're with someone that's working with you or potentially going to, support you, you want to make sure they're in alignment. And if
Mm-hmm.
they're not, then at least you know, rather than kind of going blindfolded into that. Because every time, even when you're just doing something, I think from a business point of view, it's still a collaboration as opposed to hiring someone who's supporting you as a VA. It's still a collaboration, that person. So, having that know-how is super important. So, tell us what's going on in the LaChelle America's Supermoms world right now, because we actually haven't caught up in a long time. We've both been busy, so I'm excited to hear.
Yeah, well, right now I have a son, first and foremost, who's graduating in May. So that's just like, oh my gosh, I have another child who's leaving the nest, so to speak. So I'm excited about that. But I have a new grandson who is only a couple months old. I
Oh,
was able
congratulations.
the delivery room with my daughter. And then on the other side, I am really focusing on building my micro network. The micro network, Keep It Real TV, was something that I was blessed to have the opportunity to have this position to where I can get up to 12 content creators on one channel, and they each can have 24 episodes. So last year was my first year with that opportunity, and I did a lot of training, a lot of figuring out how I wanted to support people in this capacity. And I'm excited because I just added another producer
Nice.
today that's going to be adding to the channel. But I'm just really in a place of um, doing less, but being more intentional. I
Hmm.
had a situation in September where I fell down a flight of steps head
Oh,
first. Um,
oh,
yeah, it's crazy and no injury. Uh,
what?
I thought when it was 14 stairs, it was in our home, and I thought, this is not ending well. I'm either going to break my neck or I'm going to die. This
Yeah,
is what I'm thinking as it was happening. And the traumatic thing was that my youngest daughter saw the whole thing, and so she was just really shaken up by it. But uh,
yeah.
I ended up, in a seated position at the end of the stairs, and my foot went through the drywall, but no injury. And I
Wow.
like, after having that experience, I'm just so into celebrating, the
Hmm.
little things, realizing, what impact do I want to leave? Why am I doing what I do? Is this even beneficial? Letting go of things that just don't matter. And so that's really what my focus is for 2025, and just gratitude. I'm just living and breathing gratitude because that definitely could have had a different outcome. I mean,
Oh,
I could be paralyzed or anything.
yeah,
You know,
that's crazy. That's crazy. LaChelle, you went down the stairs, not one
I'm
way, but like head first.
it's so crazy. I know. It's just like I cannot believe it. So I have a
Wow.
picture, yeah, that I keep in my phone, just as a reminder, because one, it just is so surreal that I just didn't have an injury. I'm like, did that really happen? It's like, yep, here's the picture to prove it. You So yeah, that's kind of the space I'm in.
Wow. That's a great space to be, though, because it's sometimes life events similar to that that make us very present and grateful for what we have and what we're doing. And I like the part of letting go, not worrying about all the fluff. Like,
Mhm.
what does it really matter? Who gives a shit? Like, just is it gonna affect your day? No, then let it go.
It's so true. Yeah.
You know,
We again, it's us. we're in our own head with a lot of these things.
We are.
And so just learning that and having that appreciation to realize that, we're human.
Hmm.
I know for myself, I would put myself under so much pressure. Nobody else was doing or saying anything, but this is what I was doing to myself. And I've just learned to realize that at the end of the day, be in a good space. Don't put that pressure on yourself. That energy, even doing things underneath that energy, it doesn't have the same um, outcome as when you're coming from a place of gratitude. You know,
Hmm.
it just feels differently.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think that, you know, people get so caught up in their world that sometimes you just have to relax and kind of flow through it, and like circling back to what I said before, people want to start that business and they want everything right away and they want everything moving in that, in the process. They want to see the results, they want to see the income, they want to see the clients, or they want to see the service being sold or the products being sold, but it doesn't quite happen like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's about building community. It's about having that collaboration, because community is another big thing that is massive as well. And I think you and I were on a Zoom call about a year and a half ago, and there was a gentleman who came on, and I think his wife had a yarn, a
Oh,
yarn truck. You
yeah.
remember that? And
Yeah.
he had gone around during COVID and supplied yarn to people's homes. I think and then with COVID, he couldn't do it anymore, him and his wife. So they had a yarn show where he would come on, and they built such a community.
Mm-hmm.
And that people, they said, when the people who bought the yarn, of course, if they passed, they would go and say, I've got like an entire room full of your yarn. What do I do with it? And it was because they built that community. People wanted to come on like whatever show they had, and wanted to hear them talk about stuff, because they were building that community. They were building that trust. And that is another big thing, that I wanted to bring up, because you specifically have built that. Maybe you could share a little bit with us about that.
Yeah, I think, it takes a lot of active listening, because when we think about community, it is, I just think every community is everywhere, right? It is in your neighborhood, it's in your home, it's in your community, it is in your state, right? And so when we really think about what community is about, it's about support. It's about not changing anybody, but supporting them in whatever they're doing. So, for example, we'll use the example of Girl Scout cookies, right? Here, Girl Scouts are pretty popular. So, it's one time a year where everybody is on board to support the sale of these cookies. Now, the Girl Scouts aren't requiring you to be a Girl Scout too. They just want you to buy the cookies so you can support the things that they're doing. And I think I've learned this the hard way, is that I have in the past expected people to conform to a certain way in
Mm,
order to build community, instead of saying, okay, this person is good at tech. This person is good at television. This person is good at,
mhm,
whatever, right? Visuals. And so it's like we have all these people in our community. So if we need something, somebody is well versed to do whatever's necessary in order for us all to shine. That's my attitude now. Whereas before it was like, okay, I am passionate about TV. So I want to find everybody in my community that does TV. So then if we have a tech issue, we're all looking at each other crazy because nobody knows how to do tech, right?
exactly. So having a community of, lots of people with lots of different gifts and expertise is extremely important. And I think that's another one to kind of put in that folder as an entrepreneur, having those collaborations and making sure you're on board with them, and then having that community with people with all diversities in techniques and, experience is also another thing. And then I love the part where you said, and not getting so worked up over stuff, just letting it go. Like
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
It's so true. And I think you're able to relax when, I'm not going to get worked up over technology. I'm just going to get somebody in my community that does technology, right? There's no reason for me to stress out, get all anxious. It's like, okay, you know what? That's not my area of expertise. So let me, call Sally and let her talk to you through these things because we all need each other. Well, no man is an island. And I've learned the hard way through 13 years of depression that being an island, it doesn't end
No,
well. Okay.
it doesn't.
So we're not reinventing that. Okay. I'm like, I've learned time through 3 hospitalizations that is, insane. So I just now have a different outlook about it because I feel like, but we have to listen in community, right? You don't put your expectations or your desires on
Mm,
people. Just listen to what they're already interested in, what they already are excited about, and you'll have better communities doing just that.
I think that's great advice. I mean, all these things, there should have been like a checklist when we first started out and became entrepreneurs, right? But unfortunately, there isn't. So for anybody who's listening, here's your checklist.
Right. You know, building the plane while you're flying. Absolutely.
Exactly. That's exactly what you're doing. And then just, I mean, I remember so many times when we did live streams and technology wasn't working for us. And you would always say, here we go. Technology is just not working for us today. So I'm not an expert. So we'll just figure it out as we go along.
And, I think it makes you more relatable. People feel like they know you. There's no mask, because I lived a long time in my life having a mask, thinking that I had to be perfect in
Mhm.
this, perfect in that. And, it really had a wall between me and the other person. But when I've learned to just be myself, in whatever state that I'm in, it has helped me to connect better with people in the long run.
Wow. I think that's great advice because, a lot of people wear masks nowadays
Mm.
and you just got to let go. And my message to people for that is who cares what other people think? That's their business, right?
It,
You be you and enjoy your life and build your entrepreneurial business and collaborate with people. And if it doesn't work out, oh well, you learn from that experience and you do it again. I mean, it's just like horseback riding. You get thrown off the horse, you're going to get back on, or you're never going to ride the horse again, right?
it's true. It's true. And I think, we're afraid to sometimes, everything is not about us, right? I think we go into that too. This didn't happen. Oh, I'm just not good at this. We immediately attack ourselves instead of even examining, was it the right time? Is this the right person? Could we have done it differently? We don't really do that. We're just always quick to pull the trigger on ourselves instead of really sitting back and observing, was this the best way to handle this? Could I have
Mm.
done it differently? Did we have clarity on what we were expecting from each other? I mean, it's a number of things. So it's not about us, but we can have that tunnel vision.
Oh my gosh, great advice. Um, because yeah, I mean, we've both done it. I've done it, you've done it. Lots of other people have done it. And so I love that, community, collaboration, letting go. Those are massive things as an entrepreneur. Now,
Hmm.
what's coming up for you? What's next? And if yeah, we'll go with that first. What's coming up for you and what's next?
Well, I think for me, it is really helping people to understand that they're already enough and that their story matters. I think a lot of people hide a lot of their gems from the world. And so just teaching people how to leverage that through their visibility, I
Mhm.
think is important. I know if I had had someone talking about depression and their journey the way that talk about it and teach, I probably would have avoided a lot of the pitfalls that I fell in, you know. So I feel like more people need to recognize that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just share about what you overcame. It's valuable to somebody.
Hmm.
So having opportunities where I can speak on that, where I can participate in live events, that's really, again, it's the intentionality of understanding why I'm sharing my story and
Mhm.
how I can help other people avoid the pitfalls that I fell in.
Wow. That's, a big thing for me too, is the empowerment of your story. So it's what you're telling yourself every day, and how empowering is that story, and what is
Mm.
it doing for you? So if people wanted to reach out to you, LaChelle, they want to connect with you, they're intrigued by what you do, they relate to you, where can they find you and on what platforms?
I'm pretty much everywhere. You can Google me and find pages of what I'm doing because I'm all
Mhm.
into collaboration, but they can simply email me at info@LaChelleAtkins.com and just share that they saw this broadcast. And I'd be happy to connect. I am definitely open to all collaborations because I find that I learn so much from a conversation. I mean, a lot of my collaborations have come simply from having a conversation with someone, finding out what we have in common, how I can serve them, how they can serve me. So I am always open to making new connections.
Wow. Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on today as my wonderful friend and sharing this great wisdom, because there are so many people out there that want to transform their business. They want to collaborate, but they're not sure how to build those relationships and how to have a successful business. So I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wise, wise wisdom.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And I'm looking forward to us collaborating uh,
Hmm.
in 2025. So thanks again for having
Excellent.
me.
All right. Thank you.